Well, welcome everybody to the online post-service commons. If you're watching this separately and not as part of the worship service, I'm obviously joined by Greg Goforth, our worship pastor, somebody we get to see a lot, but we don't get to speak to very often.
What's up, Tony? What's up, everybody?
Good to see you here.
Good to see
you. And you and I are not alone in the comments today, are we?
No, we're not, thankfully.
No, we are joined by other people. Hello, say hello, other people.
Girl power. Hey.
Yes, hello, Team Girl Power. Introduce yourselves real quick.
I'm Michelle Bacher.
My name's Hannah Nelson.
Okay, and Michelle, tell us what you do here at Change Point. People may have seen you in the back among the curtains. Mm-hmm. What are you doing back there?
I coordinate those people that operate all the fun machines back there.
So all of the worship and production staff and volunteers that go into making our Sunday worship service happen, Michelle handles the coordination of all those people, and she does a fantastic job.
Yes.
So, and Hannah, we've seen you a couple of times on stage. I've seen you at a couple of women's events. How long have you been a part of the worship team? What's your role here?
Yeah, so I usually lead with the student team. I've been leading since I was a sophomore, and I graduate this May. So just, almost 3 years.
There we go. Well, welcome. It's good to have you. And you've been leading in some other venues as well, right? I've seen you on stage a couple other times.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple other churches that I've led at, which is super fun, across Anchorage. I also lead with a ministry called Team Backed. It's a leadership and discipleship group. So we have events across the country, and I lead worship for those too. So it's a blast.
Didn't I see you on stage a few minutes ago too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I play viola too.
And you were playing viola.
Wait. What instrument was that?
Viola. The
Yes,
best
that's what I
string
thought you said.
instrument ever.
Come on, viola.
All right, for those who don't know, Greg also plays the viola in the Anchorage Symphony Orchestra, yes?
Yes.
The
So that's
optional one.
super cool. Yeah, we were very
got
blessed by
this.
those string players. So we didn't just choose to have the worship team in here, for fun, though it is fun this week. You guys have an event upcoming. Greg, tell us about what's going on April 19th.
Well, it's going to be super fun. So we have worship team auditions coming up on Monday, April 19th, 7 to 9. And it's just another opportunity to step in and join our team.
So what sorts of musicians and singers are you looking for at these auditions? Who are you after?
Yeah, so we are looking for vocalists, singers. We are looking for keyboard players. We're looking for electric guitar players, acoustic guitar players, bass guitar players, drummers.
Yep.
And then if you play another instrument, so those are the instruments that we use weekly, pretty weekly, although today is strings.
Right.
Right. So what if I rock the bassoon, right?
So if you rock the bassoon,
What happens?
we think that
yeah.
is absolutely awesome. Still, we would love to know about that. So, send us a note on our webpage. Send us a note and let us know what instrument you play, and we'd love to hear you play, and we can talk you through how to go about that.
So that webpage, the webpage that is going to work for everything that we talk about today, is changepointalaska.com/worship. Worship. It's also opportunities to sign up for these auditions are on the homepage of the ChangePoint app, the Sunday tab. If you open the app, it's right there this week. But all of this is going to stay there, changepointalaska.com/worship.
Yep.
Okay, so that's if I play the bassoon, that's where I want to go to let you know.
Come on,
Or viola.
or viola, right?
So something that's interesting about our worship team, I mean, many churches our size employ a team of professional musicians, right? They hire basically their whole band. We don't do that, obviously. Why don't we do that?
That's a great question. We don't do that. We want this to be, we want our worship team to be accessible to as many people as possible. So, these are worship team auditions. That's what we're calling them. I mean, I kind of don't love that word because sometimes the word audition sort of conjures up, oh my goodness, I got an audition. And it's just scary,
Maestro's going to be there in the front row,
scary word.
drinking a tiny cappuccino, criticizing your every move.
Scorecards going up in the air.
Right, yep.
3.5. Okay, so that's not what we're doing, right, Greg?
No,
Okay.
no, not doing that. What is going to really be fun, if I can just say, well, I hope it's all going to be fun. But these auditions on that Monday evening, so you won't, if you're a singer, bass player, whatever instrument you play, you won't have to show up and be by yourself alone at the center of the stage with a spotlight on you. Okay, we're not going to do that to you. We'll actually have a band that
I
you
should get on that.
Yeah, right.
I should get on that.
Exactly. So we'll have a band here, and we'll play along. You get to play along with us, and so we'll make it just super light.
It's like a jam session.
Just
Yeah.
a jam session.
Oh,
yeah.
It is fun.
Let's call it that. Worship team jam session.
Yeah.
You know, I love the kind of just diversity of ages and backgrounds and everybody who's kind of on the worship team. And those are all people from our church.
Yeah.
Go
It's our
ahead.
family.
It is. Oh, what? I mean, that is it. The word Michelle said right there. It's a family, and it's a very diverse family regarding age. I love that Hannah's here today because she can represent not just the generation that is yet to come. Like, she's the generation that is here right now and is a leader and full-on contributor to the worship culture that and the family that we want to see here. So, you know, they can't all be my age,
Or my age.
right? I mean,
That's why I'm here.
we just want to see this thing represent our entire church family, and so
Yeah, Hannah, let's talk about the student worship team for a second, because that thing kind of exploded recently,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like over your sophomore to senior year. Tell us that story. Like, what's been going on with the
Yeah.
student worship team?
It was kind of crazy. The first year I joined the worship team, I think we maybe had 2 vocalists, maybe. And honestly, a lot of prayer went into it. I really have a heart for musical worship. I don't think worship just encapsulates music, but I think it's so much more than that. And I love music. So being able to kind of marry those 2 concepts together is so cool. So a lot of prayer really did go into that. And also just trying to like recruit my friends and everything. Like, come on, you can do it. Like, it's not that hard. Like, you'll love it. It's so much fun. Like, it's not about, it's not singing for people. We're singing to glorify God. And
yeah.
like the whole heart set behind that, like I don't know, it just takes all the pressure off really. And it becomes such a joyous thing. So yeah, over the past couple years, it's kind of been really neat to just see like every students just take the next step in that, really step out in faith, honestly. And it's been super rewarding. So yeah.
It's super cool.
That's fantastic. Well, we're joined now, I believe, by another guest, another member of our Change Point worship team, Gabe Giolivera, also known as the guy who has the best glasses on the worship team. Best glasses. Gabe, are you with us? Can you hear us?
I am. Sorry about that.
No worries, man. So you're joining us by the power of the internet today because you are leading worship at another church, correct?
Correct. I am helping out the church family at Unite Church this morning.
So few people are as routinely involved in the worship team as you are. Michelle has told me she has to tell you to take weeks off because you would volunteer morning, noon, and night. What is it that makes you so passionate about being part of the worship team?
For me, really, it's just recognizing that my musical gifts are just that. They're just gifts, right? I didn't do a lot of, I didn't go out of my way to practice per se or learn certain things because I wanted to learn. They were given to me by the Lord God himself. So I feel like by receiving these gifts, it's only right of me to give them back as a form in the form of worship to Jesus Christ.
It connects very strongly with what you were just saying, Hannah, right?
Yeah, that's super cool. I love that.
Yeah, and so your next step as well, you're studying worship, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm going to be attending Cedarville University in the fall. It's in Ohio. And I hope to study worship leadership there.
You're Alaska born and bred, right?
Oh, yeah.
So are you ready for this transition to Ohio?
It's very flat, but
Lots of corn.
Jesus loves farmers too.
it's okay.
So that's
Yep.
okay.
The presence of God is in Ohio as well, so
Dan Kraus is in Ohio, former
Yes, he
campus pastor at Matsu.
Sunsets are pretty.
that's true.
So
It's
we've
not a
been,
really pretty sunset.
we've been talking a little about the worship team. Let's talk for a moment about your sister team, the production team, because we nerds would like to remind everyone that the musicians don't sound as good at home without
man.
nerds.
True.
So
Can I just say, like, we, you know, when I say we, the musical worship leaders, like, we stand on the shoulders of this awesome technical production team. Like, oh my goodness, we love Dan Hendricks, Michelle, and our whole crew. They are behind the scenes. You don't see or hear them, and that's by design, right? So we love them.
So, yeah, Michelle, go ahead.
I was just going to say, hence the black,
Hence
but I
the black.
noticed Greg's wearing black and
Oh,
he
we
was
all
on
are.
stage.
I'm production
Okay,
team
that's
today.
funny.
I'm mostly in black.
Thanks.
And very, very, very dark gray.
And so is Gabe.
It's a vibe.
Gabe is too? Aw, you guys are awesome.
Black? Excellent.
We're all a team.
All right, it's like an impromptu uniform.
Come
That's
on.
right.
Michelle, tell us about what positions are on the production team. What does that mean? Like, what can people do on production team?
The volunteer positions on the production team are audio would be monitors, learning to run monitors, and we also have a mixer that mixes for online only from a different location than the auditorium.
Which I'm very thankful for.
Yes, that's an awesome
Oh, yeah.
thing. And then graphics, the stuff you see on the screen, that person puts that stuff up, and they interface with the switcher operator who puts the iMag up on the screen, the camera stuff.
Switches between all the cameras.
Yep.
It's kind of like running a
Yep.
TV station, basically, is what it looks like back there.
And
Oh,
lighting.
much.
I
And
forgot.
lighting.
And lighting.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
And lighting. Okay, so we have graphics, which is like running the slides. We have the video switcher, which is video production, lighting, and audio.
And camera.
And cameras.
See, I keep
See,
Adding.
we have all kinds of positions back there. What kind of experience level do people need if they want to be part of the production team?
You will be trained before you get put on the spot.
So we will train a totally new
we will
person
train.
who
Yep.
does not know what they're doing.
If you have a
Yep.
smile on your face and you say, "Show me how," like you're our
Yep.
person.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, I've actually had a lot of people come up to me over this past season and ask questions about, hey, you know, at my work, I'm needing to stream more. I'm needing to do this stuff. Do you know how to this and that? If you're in that position at work, maybe you should spend 6, 8, 10 months on the production team and
Yes, recruit.
grab some skills and then
Yep.
go and be blessed. And the skills are yours to keep.
We would love
That's
that.
right. Yes, we would.
So, Gabe, how many instruments do you play, man?
I don't know, 7 or 8 or something.
Do you play viola, Gabe?
That's the real question.
Or bassoon.
No. I was blessed by not receiving that.
Oh,
gift.
Whoa, whoa,
dude,
whoa, 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 whoa.
Dude, what in the world?
Casting shade
mic wasn't working.
Oh my goodness, did that just happen?
I think the Lord interfered with his mic to stop the disdain for the viola.
That's funny.
So, Gabe, if there's somebody out there who's considering joining the worship team, what would you tell them is the single greatest benefit they can expect?
I personally feel like that the single greatest benefit to expect out of being in the worship team really is the sense of camaraderie between the musicians and being able to get together every Sunday and just have something in common with each other and being able to rely on each other to have that sense of community, right? Because it's different when you all have something to connect together with, whether that's music or something else, or but for me, it's music. So being able to make a sense of community out of the people and the worshipers on the worship team, and being able on a weekly basis to reach out to somebody if I need something. Not only, don't get me wrong, reaching out to Pastor Greg is great, and Pastor Scott, and so on and so forth. They're all resources, obviously, but for me, being able to reach out to somebody that has that little bit of something in common just makes a little bit of a difference, really. And being able to get together, outside of church, I have several members of the worship team that I get together regularly, and we just sit down, we have coffee, lunch, we chat, talk about different things, talk about life, talk about church, talk about music, worship. So having that sense of community within the worship team is really, really beneficial to me.
Well, that'll make a guy want to stick around with a team, right? When a team is a family.
Yeah.
Much to your credit. That's good.
Something Gabe was saying there, it just, it reminded me, like, all the things he said about our team being, not just we look like we love each other. We do love each other. We know we know things about each other, and goodness, we are all works in progress. You know, we fully believe and know that, you know, Christ is doing work in us, and he promised he would finish the work he's doing in the worship team. And you know, the songs we sing, sometimes we will just in the middle of rehearsal we'll say, man, isn't this awesome? Like, promise maker, promise keeper, you finish what you begin. Like the worship leaders on our worship team, like we believe that, and we want to believe that in the things that we're walking in and through, and I don't know, we just want to keep reminding each other as a team and as a family, hey, this thing that we're singing, it's not just a song lyric, it's a promise, and God's going to be good to us. And I don't know, I'm fueled by seeing the other members of our team live in the middle of those promises. It's pretty powerful and pretty awesome.
You know, I didn't realize how much the live in-person worship music mattered to me until it disappeared.
Oh.
Anyone else?
Oh yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like this was never, you know, I've long been known to complain about different. Oh, this isn't my favorite song, or this is blah 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 blah. And
I've never heard you do that.
Greg has the office next to mine. He shares in the sufferings of Christ. Anyway, but no, when it got all shut down last year and we weren't able to worship together, and there are many members of our family who still have not been able to return in person, and so doing that through the internet, that was one of the not better things in the internet.
Yeah, that was a crazy season, and we're still a little bit in it, right? And you know, COVID's not been all bad though, because it has it's nudged us toward steps toward this that we're doing right now, and extensions of gospel community beyond our walls. And that being said, we still long for those days when we're together, because that is, you know, there's something about stirring each other up toward love and good works. Hebrews, what is that? Hebrews 10, 23, 24. That's part of what worship does. Like when we're together and we're just like, oh, this thing that we're singing, this thing's true, right? Yes, it's true. It's so good to be together. So.
Yeah, COVID hasn't been all bad because disruptions in life cause you to grow.
Yeah.
So, got to change.
It's good theology. What have you been learning?
I hate change, and yet I appreciate it for that reason. I mean, God uses it all the time. He has to, because especially in my area of ministry, I mean, it's been really good for me over the years, because lots of change happens, and it's so good and hard and good.
Well, and you can imagine running any kind of production team over the past year. There has been some significant change over the past year.
Just a little.
Just a little, yeah.
Oh, man.
With COVID brain, it makes it really interesting.
One of the many things that's been so cool about this season that's not been all bad, like Michelle said, is it has I feel like people have stepped toward our production team, and they've stepped toward the need. Like, oh my goodness, there's a need right there, and they've run toward that. Now, that's not to say we don't still need more people to run toward it, because we don't have all that we need yet. So don't hear us saying that we got all that we need. No, we're not saying that.
Yeah.
But it's brought out the best in our team and in some new faces too.
I'll amen what Gabe was saying. Just it is a cool community. You guys
It
have
is
a
the best.
cool
I mean,
team
you know.
of people who really care
It's
about
the
each
best
other.
area.
That matters.
I concur.
So you guys normally go, a little extra on Christmas and Easter, and Easter is next Sunday.
Is it really?
It is.
Don't make
Yes,
my
it
stomach
is.
You
Yes,
should.
it is.
You should start preparing, Greg. you should work on putting a set together.
It's next week.
You want to give us any kind of preview? Anything we can expect for?
Oh man. Here's my preview. Please don't miss Easter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh.
We can't wait. So I'm so pumped that we have the schedule that we have. So 7:30 a.m., 7:30, 9:30, and 11:30 are our services. So if you're an early riser, man, come join us at 7:30, and then 2 other options as well. It's going to be just a beautiful celebration of a risen Savior. Like it's going to be powerful and awesome. You're going to know the songs. You're going to love the songs we use. You're going to hear a great challenge from the Word and the Gospel, and so it makes all the difference. Easter makes all the difference. Can't wait.
Excited.
So, if you are going to be joining us for Easter in person, we're asking everybody joining us in person to just RSVP. We made the world's shortest RSVP form. It has like 3 questions on it. There's no account, there's no password, there's nothing. It's like a tap, you're done. And that just helps us plan for capacity and seating and help everybody, everybody who wants to attend safely be able to do so. So that RSVP form, it's on the homepage of our website, changepointalaska.com. Just scroll down, it's right there. It's also on the homepage of the app. So if you have the ChangePoint app, right there, easy peasy. If you want to join us in person and hear the worship with the full thing, yeah, we'd love to have you.
Hannah will be
RSVP
Yeah,
for
she'll
us.
have a different instrument in her hand next week.
Oh, what are you doing next week?
A guitar.
Oh, you're doing the guitar.
Yeah.
So keeping the strings, dropping the bow,
Come on.
and going down to the guitar. So
She'll be singing too.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
it's great.
Gabe's on our team next week. So Gabe's drumming next week.
Oh, Gabe, you're drumming next week for Easter? Oh, I didn't even comment. You got the signature
Oh, yeah.
glasses.
I am so fortunate. I do have the signature drummer glasses.
Dude, you have actually become like a feature of the ChangePoint Alaska online worship service because the glasses stand out so well on stage. They pick up the light really well, and so it's like, hey, there's Gabe with the glasses.
Love it.
Yeah.
I work my backdrop around those lights when he's on.
There we go. See, you're being integrated into the whole production. That's great. So you're drumming for us. Go ahead.
I said I love it.
It's good. So let's do our. If people want to audition now, do people need to audition for the production team? How do you join the production team?
They don't audition. They join from that same page, and so when you'll see the
Interviews,
difference.
right? We do interviews, right?
We do interviews. We have forms you fill out, but we do that for every role, background check and stuff like that. So we do all of that, but it's less hard.
It's
So
less hard. It's a little
I didn't
different.
know how else to say that. That wasn't a good way
The
to say that.
downside is you don't get to come jam with us on that
Yeah.
Monday night. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh, man.
that's true.
So our active recruiting positions are on the worship side. Let's see if I can do this. On the worship side, vocalists,
yes,
keyboard players,
yes,
guitars,
yes,
bassists,
yes,
drummers.
yes. Did you say
Violas.
singers?
Yes,
Yeah,
vocalists, and violas, and an open standing
love
audition
it.
for any violas.
We're gonna get like 12 violas.
Come on.
Mike Frazier is casting shade on the viola in the chat, by the
Oh,
way. I
Mike
didn't think I'd
Frazier.
bring it up, but
Whoa.
Mike's in there.
Shots fired.
Mike
Shots
is a member
fired
of our
by
production
teammates.
team. Okay, and then in the production team, we're recruiting for lights, graphics operators, camera operators, switcher operators, and audio operators.
Yep.
So basically, anything that you could imagine that would be done inside that room during a Sunday morning thing, or anything that would be needed to run this online stream, we are recruiting to those positions. So the
Yes.
audition night is April
19th.
19th. If you want to sign up for auditions, you do that at changepointalaska.com/worship, which is also where you go if you would like to interview for one of those production things,
Yep.
learn some new tech skills, meet people at your church, and get to wear black and hide behind a curtain.
I would just say one more quick thing. At ChangePoint Alaska /worship or changepointalaska.com/worship, whatever. All the audition materials are already there. So right now, if you go there, you click the little button, and you can download the audio files and the music, and you can start preparing your stuff now.
So fancy.
Yeah, come on.
And when they click the production one, I think then it sends them my email.
it does.
And then I send them the forms, everything they need.
Yep, that's the place you need to go.
It's cool. Actually, I do that for the worship team, clicking as well. Clicking.
There we go. No matter who you are, if you go to that page, Michelle will click something on your
Yes,
behalf.
I'll
You will.
click you back.
Yep.
So, Greg, in terms of philosophy of worship, why people would want to join this team as we're kind of starting to land the plane here.
Yeah.
What would you do? What would you want to say to somebody who'd potentially join one of these teams that I haven't set you up for?
Well, I tell you, we said that little passage, Hebrews 10, 23, 24, 25, we stir one another up toward love and good works. There's something about if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're a technician, there's something about doing it with other people, serving with other people, and making much of Jesus with other people. Like, as followers of Jesus, like that's what we were made to do. And, maybe music is that's your talent, that's your gift. And having a spot on the team to be able to, use your gift with other people and make much of Jesus with other people. In a nutshell, that is our philosophy. If you love Christ, if you're a follower of Jesus, and you want to make much of Him, and you want to do that through music or through technology, that is our philosophy of worship and serving. And every one of us, musician or not, we were made to worship. Hannah said earlier, so rightly, worship is not just notes on a page. It's not music. It's heart and it's life and it's trajectory toward Jesus. And to the point that we can do that together, that is the worship team. And we just get to do it with technology and instruments.
Yeah.
So, Michelle, how long have you been involved in the worship ministry of Change Point?
I was trying to think about this.
You knew I was going to ask.
I know. I was like, was it 91? That's 1991.
She
I
gets
think
the
it was
gold star for being
92
here.
that I actually started singing on the worship team.
Well, if it was 91, it would be 30 years because we're in
think I-
2021.
Yeah, I think I came in 91.
Okay, so it's 29 or 30 years. You've been here with, the team has changed over and over and over and over and over again during that time. And you have been a part of this thing. What has God taught you about worship?
Oh my goodness. Off the top of my head, mostly because of what Greg was just saying, it made me go to what it's like to worship in family, with the family, in person right now, because I'm here. It's such a privilege to get to do what we do, whether I'm in the front on stage, watching people and leading people from that direction. When you see people respond to God, it just causes you to worship and adore Him so much more. And what is so cool right now is more now than before when I was on stage. I get to see that even from the back, because sometimes when I get to lift my head up and I don't have it down in some note that I have to pay attention to, it's just sometimes overwhelming to me where I'm not able to say something on headset that I'm supposed to cue or whatever, just because I'm watching the family worship Him. And it's just so powerful to me. That's why I say our ministry is the best ministry, because we get to do all that. I mean, teaching is great. That's necessary and good. So I shouldn't have that look on my face when I say that.
It's totally fine.
I'm
It's
just
totally fine to
biased.
like your thing, Michelle.
I like all our things in our area. I like all our things.
Yes.
So, Gabe, you've got a long history in the world of worship, yes? Yeah, your dad was a pastor growing up. How long have you been leading worship in churches?
I've been leading worship in churches for at least, I'm 30 now, so it's got to be at least 14, 15 years.
Nice.
What has God taught you about worship that you would share with our church?
I've been taught to not necessarily worry about so much what's on the page in front of us and what we practice. Obviously, that's all extremely important to do our due diligence and practice and rehearse it, because God deserves the best. But that the worship and the songs that we're playing for the congregation and for the church is just as important for them as it is for us. So while we are on stage playing the notes on the page and singing the songs and hitting the drums or plucking strings, playing the keyboard, whatever it may be on stage, that we receive that worship for us as well and worship alongside the church instead of only providing a platform for the church to worship with us.
Got to make sure you're worshiping at the same time. that's an important thing. That's good,
I
man.
agree with that more. You know, what's the old adage that says, you know, he who leads and no one follows was merely taking a walk. If we're on stage singing a bunch of songs and we just kind of feel like nobody's with us, man, we're just singing songs. We're just doing our thing, and we're not performers. We're with, you know,
Yep.
I kind of feel like our congregation is this giant choir. Like if you're a worshiper here, you're in, like you're part of the worship team. We got these auditions on the 19th coming up, and yeah, that's for, you know, maybe checking out to see if the team is a spot you would want to serve here at Change Point. But if you attend Change Point, we would say you're part of the team.
Yeah.
You're part of this big choir, and it's just one big voice
We
for the
minister
Lord.
to each other.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Hannah, you know, compared to these old timers, you in a relatively short period of time,
Yeah.
you know, just from a sophomore year, you said you kind of got roped into leading worship, like somebody asked you, right?
Yeah, actually, AJ Freeman, he used to lead our student team. He just randomly asked me, he was like, hey, do you sing? And I was like, no, I don't, sorry. And something about that, I think it was really just the Lord tugging on my heart, like, hey, why don't you just try this? And I did, and I ended up being so blessed in the process. And also, I think I just really discovered what worship actually was. And that was just monumental for me in my walk with the Lord. So I'm very thankful for that.
And you've gotten excited enough about it that you're now going to study worship, right?
Leading worship, well, actually, not leading worship. Worshiping is my favorite thing through music. That's, like, I feel like my spirit just comes alive when I do that, because I think that's what we were made to do. I was reading in 2 Samuel, and it says, like, I'm not going to offer to the Lord burnt sacrifices that cost me nothing. And so that really ministers to my heart. Like, I want to prepare beforehand so that when I'm leading worship, I'm worshiping the Lord. I'm not focused on necessarily like what I'm playing or the chords, because I know it, and I'm here to lead people to the foot of Jesus, you know, because that's where I want to ultimately be to when I'm leading worship.
So if you are out there and you're in the position that Hannah was in 3 years ago, and like, let us be that person who says, hey, you should try this out. Like, just give it a shot.
Do it. Yeah.
See
You
if
never
it's-
know what God will do.
Yeah, see if it's fun. So one more time, we're like right at the end here. Let's just give our details on auditions for worship and production team, right? So worship team, that means musicians. That means vocalists, guitarists, bassists, drummers, and keyboardists.
Yes.
We're having an audition April 19th at 6:30 p.m.
7.
At 7
Starts at
p.m.
7.
At 7 p.m. If you want to be part of that audition, you need to let us know at changepointalaska.com/worship or on the homepage of the ChangePoint app. We're also recruiting to the production team. Production team means graphics, lights, slide operators, camera operators, switcher operators, and audio technicians. And they do not have auditions.
They don't have to wait.
They don't have to wait. So,
Email me.
yes, also available at changepointalaska.com/worship or on the homepage of the ChangePoint app.
Woohoo!
And hey, you know, if you're not necessarily thinking about wanting to audition for the team, and you attend Change Point or at one of our campuses, go to the same page that Tony has been talking about, and just write us a note and give us some input. Like, we would love to hear from you. You know,
We will take feedback and bassoon players at
right.
changepointalaska.com/worship. God bless you, ChangePoint. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next Sunday.